Morning, guys. Here we are, second Sunday of the meet, and I'm more excited than the first one. So we have 9 races like we usually do on a Sunday. Races start at 2 p.m. and it looks like we get a treat today. We get to see an amazing horse run in the 5th race, the Clement L. Hirsch. We get to see Unique Bella. I guess we can just get to it when we get to it, but I'm excited to see her run. All right. So I just want to talk about a quick change. Because my video was so long the first time, it didn't get up onto my channel until when the race day had started, because it took so long to upload. So in an effort to cut down, I'm gonna just make this a analysis show, and then right after that I'll put up my picks for the day. I'll kind of separate that, so just go horse by horse for this one, and then my next one I'll give you what picks I would make, or what picks I'm going to make. So with that being said, let's get started. Race 1 is 6 furlongs. It's a maiden race. No win. These horses have never won. And a lot of them haven't raced very much. A lot of these horses are very lightly raced. I think there's a couple first-time starters in here as well. It's 6 furlongs on the dirt. Purse is $32,000. So we start with number 1, A Little Unruly. I like this horse. Bob Baffert's the trainer. Drayden Van Dyke is the rider, and he's only raced one time. It was at the 6 furlong distance. And it was a maiden special weight, 40,000, and ran really well. Didn't break amazing, but stayed off the pace and came up and just missed by a half a length. Works have been decent since then. His last 2 works. Hasn't worked here. He's been up at Los Al working. So I do like him. Has a huge shot in here. And that's the one. Number 2, Victoria's Prospect. Philip D'Amato in the irons. Bryce Pena in the saddle. Sorry, Philip D'Amato is the trainer. Bryce Pena in the saddle. This is another horse that's only run one time in his life at a maiden 75 level. This is a maiden 62.5. So by just that one race, he will be dropping down in class in this one. That race was on the turf, though. This is going to be on the dirt, and was at 6.5. A little longer there, but he has a chance. He has some decent works leading up. Has a work here, which I like. But I don't know. I don't know how much play I'm going to put on this horse, considering the experience, considering the jockey, considering that really he hasn't shown enough in the mornings combined with that first start to give me too much inclination. Number 3 is Tiz Toffee. This is my number 1 pick in the race. Like I said, we'll go over bets later, but I love this horse. It's coming out of an optional claiming $32,000 race, where he lost by 4.5 lengths, but 2 starts back is the race that I like to look at. 6 furlongs, maiden special weight 54, and came in 3rd, lost by 9.5 lengths, but I liked that. I remember that race, and I liked it. I liked the way he ran. He showed heart. He came back, and his last work here at Del Mar on July 21st, bullet 5 furlongs in 59.3, was the 3rd fastest at 82 that day going that distance, and that's a really good work right there. So looking good and trending in the right direction. And I think he's finally found a good spot. This is his Philip D'Amato's other entry in the race. He's got two, the one before Victoria's Prospect and this one, Tiz Toffee. So that being said, that's my number one pick in the race. And then number 4 is My Midnight Affair. Brice Blanc in the irons. Mick Ruiz is going to be training this one, or does train this one. Brice Blanc has been aboard for its only 2 starts of its career. I think that is important that he stays aboard. Works have been average, and he also this horse, if you want to play on pedigree, which is family ties and everything, her sire, her dad is Midnight Lute, who was one of the best sprinters, at least during his time. So he does have that on his side. Once again, only 2 starts though, and I just don't know if I can see myself opening up to that horse. Danuska's My Girl is number 5. Seen this horse run a lot. She's run here, and at Santa Anita a bunch. Asa Espinosa is going to be in the irons. Evan Drummond jumps off of this horse. He was on last time. That was on the turf. It was at a mile, and now going to be now going to be shortening up, which I like. Has speed already, so going to be the speed of the speed in this field. So always got to give that horse a chance. Last time ran at this distance. Never ran at this distance. That was 6.5 furlongs. Ran pretty well. Shown some works at Del Mar. One recorded was 4 furlongs, 49 4. And it looked pretty good. Not a bad work. This horse has the most experience in the race, which I don't think you can ever have too much experience. Yeah, good horse. So number 6, Don't Eat My Cookies. Saul Arias in the irons. Keith DeSormo is going to be riding. This is a first-time starter, and this is an intriguing first-time starter. Works have been really good. July 14th, 2 works back, 5 furlongs. Bullet work 101 and 2. A group of 12. That's the best time out of that 12. And then came here and did a 4 furlong, 49 and 2. Pretty much split the field as far as the time, which that's pretty good. 32 is a lot of horses. Gets not the full outside, but gets the 6th spot here, which helps. I like them having the outside and not be trapped in on the rail when they're younger and inexperienced. So interesting. Definitely take a look at that one today if you think it's worth it. And number 7 is X's and O's. Bob Affordette. This is his 2nd horse in the race. Joe Talamo, another first-time starter, gets the outside post, and been working very well. Been doing 5 and 4 furlong bullet drills. I like the way his works look. He's a first-time starter though, and he is running up against other ones that aren't first-time starters. But you have Bob Baffert here, and you never know. I like that. That's going to be my second pick in the race, second choice in the race, if you will. So I will be putting some sort of money on him. I'm just not quite sure how I'm going to do it yet. All right, that's race 1. Let's move on to race 2. Race 2 is 5 furlongs on the turf and a sprint on the turf. Optional claiming $20,000, none other than one. Purse is $62,000. We have a pretty good field here in this race. I like this field. A lot of experience. A lot of experience at this distance. And a lot of good pedigree also to look at. Number 1 is King Abner. King Abner has Figueroa in the irons. Philip D'Amato has this horse. He has had him since June 30th. Hasn't raced him since then, but has done some really nice things in the works pattern, and I like the way his works look. Yeah, and like I said, Philip D'Amato, this is going to be the speed. This is going to speed, especially last race. Went out to the lead and never looked back. Ended up winning that by 5 lengths. This is obviously a step up in class from that, but you see the style that he likes to run, or when he does win, he runs that style. So look for him to be out in the lead, give himself a chance there. Number 2 is Dreamer's Reality, Drayden Van Dyke, and Mike Pipey. Mike Pipey, I love Mike Pipey. He's a good trainer. And so here we have, this horse is probably going to be laying mid-pack, coming out of 2 maiden special weight races. One of the least raced horses in this race, only 2 starts in his lifetime. Coming off a win by half a length in a maiden special weight 55. Before that, raced in that same around that same level, and lost by 2 3/4 lengths. So learned from that, got better. I like that. Might need to learn from this one too, and then two races from now, get the win. But either way, this horse looks good. Looks like he understands what it takes. Number 3 is Hollywood Square. This is I love this horse. These Square Eddie horses that Mario Gutierrez and Doug O'Neill team up on, they have a good percentage of doing well in those races, and this is another one of those. His last race he came down the hill at Santa Anita 6.5 furlongs on the turf at a maiden special weight, won by half a length. This is a totally different way to run when you're going around one turn compared to that one turn with the down the hill in Santa Anita. So definitely different, but coming off a win, knows how to win. Doug O'Neill and Mario Gutierrez are having a great meet so far, so can't go wrong with those connections. This horse is probably just gonna lay right off, just stalk and make that one sweeping move, and try to get it done in the end. Number 4 is Ultimate Bango, and Ruben Fuentes in the irons. Blake Heap is the trainer, a low-profile trainer, but he's good. He's very good. 2 starts back, he got a win at 6.5 furlongs on the turf. Last start, probably a little in over his head, which is why I think he might be in over his head today, because that's about the same level. But either way, he's gonna probably be just stalking also. There's a couple horses that have a bit more speed than him, but been working very well. His last work here at Del Mar was really nice. For a bullet work 4 furlongs and 48 flat, 6th best out of 71. Not impossible. Definitely someone to take a look at. Morgan S. I think Morgan S is going to be out on the lead. I think that this horse has only been sprinting in his lifetime. This is what he prepares for, and I think that Dan Hendricks is going to have him ready. Dan Hendricks is one of the best trainers, and he's going to have him ready for this race. It's a long shot, 20-1 morning line, which is why, not going to be my top pick here, but definitely put Morgan S in your exotics. This horse is going to run well. He usually does. So number 6 is Yes, I'm Ready. Alonso Quinones in the irons. I don't give this horse too much of a chance. Did win 2 starts back in a maiden 9,500 at Los Al. More of a quarter horse. This is a elongated quarter horse race, but I think it's 5.5. 5 furlongs is too elongated for a quarter horse, especially at this class level. So I don't really give him too much of a chance. Probably laying mid-pack, maybe up closer to the front. I don't know how he's gonna, if he's just gonna try to steal it, or actually gonna try to run a horse race. I'm not sure how Art Sherman, the trainer, is gonna play it, but I don't really give number 6 much of a chance. 7 is Jet Set Man. Jet Set Man with Tiago Pereira, Brian Corner, coming off of allowance race, none other than the loss by 4.5 lengths. 2, 3, and 4 starts back were all optional, claiming $20,000 none other than ones, and couldn't really figure a way to figure it out. This horse loves this track, though. I remember seeing him. Win here 2 years ago, and in which I bet on him, and I think this horse likes the track enough. Came over here and worked really well. His last 2 works have been really nice, and I think that his buyer speed figure two races back, which was a 5 furlong on the turf race. His buyer speed figure 82 is one of the best in this race, if not the best, besides number 3. 2 best buyer speed figures. Definitely a horse to take a look at. Number 8 is Salient. Franco's in the irons. Edward Freeman is the trainer. This horse is going to be up there with the speed. I just think this is one of those situations where there's just too much speed in the race for this horse to win. This horse has got to win on the lead, just like a couple of these horses. And this is the weaker of the bunch that has to win on the lead. I just don't give him much of a shot. Did win 2 starts back in an allowance, 12,000 on other than 2. Won by 2.25 lengths. Now, this is another one of those horses that's not as much of a quarter horse, but has run in quarter horse races, 870 yards, such. I don't really like playing those type horses that when we're at Losal, and then try to play these short thoroughbred races over here at Del Mar. I don't really like to play them. I don't think they have enough experience and enough. That it's just a totally different game. This horse does have a lot of experience with thoroughbreds, but either way, you see what they're trying to do with it, and I'm just not. That's not a way I like to look at it. So I'll probably leave the 8 out. Number 9 is Psycho Dar. Evan Roman pops over here. This horse has been running in way better races. It ran in the last 3 races have been, that's 5 races, I apologize, have been in a stakes race that has been $78,000 in purse money or more, all the way up to, I believe, $200,000. So been facing way better. You're going to see that, but also has been running in longer races. This is the shortest race. This is the shortest race besides his first race of his career, in which he's raced, and that race was 5 furlongs. It wasn't on the turf, but it was here at Del Mar, and guess what? He won with Evan Roman aboard. I like that. Going to be up there near the lead. I'm probably going to end up stalking because of the speed factor here, but it does get one of those outside posts, and I love that in a 1-turn race. I'm definitely going to use the 9 somewhere. Number 10 is Vutzak with Stuart Elliott in the irons. Mike Pipey is the trainer, and it's coming out of an optional, claiming $50,000 none other than 1. Came in 6, lost by 4. He looked in that race. I remember watching it. He looked like he was coming, and then he just stopped. I don't know if I give this horse that much play in this race. It's going to be one of those horses up near the lead. Does have that outside post, which is nice, but I don't think that he has what it takes to do anything with the win here. You might want to put him in some of your exotics. His last work here at Del Mar, 4 furlongs, 48 flat, 4th best out of 96. That that's a good work right there. So if he is taken to the track, maybe want to throw him in your exotics, exacta, trifecta, superfecta, those type things. So those are 10 horses. They also have the also eligibles. Obviously, I can go over. I'll go over them a little bit, but I'm never gonna go over them as much as I do the horses that are already in the race, just because they might not get in if there's not a scratch or anything like that. One thing I will say is this first also eligible Croissant number 11 beat number 10 in their last race by a few lengths. I don't really love the 11, so maybe that would tell you that maybe I'm probably not going to use the 10 either. Either going to want like both or neither. So Croissant is the 11, Figaro in the irons, Kelly Castaneda. It's a trainer, and yeah, so optional claiming races for the most part for this horse. Been in the claiming ranks for the last two. Just doesn't seem to understand how to win or how to be effective out there. So I would leave him out if he got in. Mason B's the 12. Kelly Castaneda is the trainer. I don't give this one much of a shot at all. If it gets in, just a horse in the race. Works aren't showing me really much of anything. Coming out of some pretty different races. Doing a lot of quarter horse racing, that type of stuff. I'm gonna lay off of that one. Number 13 is one that I would play if he got in. 13 and 14, I would give a big play. Forrest Chatter's the 13. Clifford Sice is the trainer, and the buyer speed figures up and down the board here on this horse are really, really good. His last two races were in the optional claiming ranks, and 6.5 furlongs, not as effective, but his works have been spectacular. And when he does run the shorter distances, the 5, the 5.5, even up to the 6, those are his best races. And I think that you got to give him a big look today. Even a bigger look, you're going to want to look at Calvert Street, number 14. Edwin Maldonado is in the irons. George Papadramu. Love that name, by the way. He's got a big shot too. Edwin Maldonado has been on for the last 3. His last one, the optional claiming race, 6.5 furlongs on the turf at St. Anita. Lost to Forrest Chatter. Going to be stalking, and has that very outside post, which that turn is going to be tough. But when you have that outside post and you're not scrunched up between horses or on the rail, I like to give those horses a big look. So if he does get in, give him a chance. Works have been pretty decent. So give him a look if he does get in. All right, moving on to race 3. Race 3 is 7 furlongs, that tough distance of 7 furlongs. It's an optional claiming $62,000 race. The purse is $65,000. So, number 1, Money Spunt. His run at this distance twice, and those are the times he performed at his worst speed figures, which means not a good. It wasn't his best race. Works have been pretty good though recently. A couple 5 furlong works, but once again, if you don't like the distance or you haven't got it yet, I'm gonna probably look elsewhere. Considering 7 furlongs is just such a funky race, I'm probably gonna look elsewhere. It's definitely an interesting horse. Definitely wouldn't be weird if you did use it, because he's definitely right there. But I'm personally just gonna go away because of those things. Gotta go away from somebody. Can't bet them all. So number 2 is True Royalty. John Sadler, Drayden Van Dyke has got the distance also one time in his career. Ran pretty well. It was over at Santa Anita on May 12th, and it was in in an $83,000 stakes race. Lost by 5 1/4 lengths. Closed with a really nice kick in the end. This horse is going to be mid-pack. Definitely fits in this race as far as the class, and I would give this horse a big look, especially since he has gotten that distance also. Number 3, Mistress of the Night, Asa Espinosa. Richard Baltas is the trainer, and so you throw out the last race in the St. Lucia. He was eased, but two starts back, 3 starts back, 4 starts back. They're all optional claiming, and then you sprinkle in the Santa Margarita that they ran in, and just way overmatched. Not the right spot there. But in the optional claimings, always right there. Whether that means she dies at the end, or she stays up there and hangs in, whether it's for a win or to be on the board. She's pretty good. I would give this horse a look in your exotics. Has never run 7 furlongs though, but don't mind it as much when they're cutting back as much as they're trying to stretch out. So if you want to put her in your exotics, that would be something probably I would look at for that horse. Not much more than that. Number 4 is the Spiral Jetter. Raf is in the irons. Andy Mathis is the trainer. This is going to be my top pick. It's hard to look past this one. He's coming off a win of 7.5 lengths in a $33,000 allowance race, essentially. Yes, it was at a mile and a 16th. Never sprinted, but when he's cutting back in distance, he's going to show a lot more speed, which will put him right up there. Already has speed, but it's going to put him even more up there. And his works have been good enough for me to know that he's going to be ready to go today. And yeah, I really like him. Buyer speed figures are really strong, especially in the last few. Number 5 is Life's Blessings. Mike Smith jumps aboard for Bob Baffert. Ran in the St. Lucia last time out, and not really much of a performance there. Hung around mid-pack, and then kept going backwards. Definitely overmatched there, but before that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 races in the optional claiming rings, and it seems like that's where she fits, and even won one of those races in there. One of these horses that, at least in the last 4 or 5 races, has been running routes. Once again, that route to sprint cutback, going to show a lot more speed, just like the number 4 horse. And what I would suggest is don't let this horse get off your radar, because when you got Mike Smith and everything going, then you're going to want to take a look. Never gone 7 furlongs. Take that as you will. Definitely still interesting to me, but yeah, definitely a reason why it's probably not a top pick of mine. Time for Ebby is the 6, Tiago Pereira. Steve Knapp is the trainer, and so this horse has gone 7 furlongs once in his life, and it was in a $100,000 stakes race back in 2017. Lost by 9 1/4 lengths. Not too much to put into that, but has gotten the distance before and been running 6.5 furlongs. Has also run over a mile. So, the length of distance shouldn't be too bad, and going to be lying mid-pack, so not going to be caught up in all the speed up front. Could take a look at that one as well. Number 7 is Anonymity. This horse is probably going to go off as your favorite by the time the race happens. Gary Stevens is the rider. Richard Mandela is the trainer. So won its first start. Only has 3 starts in his career. Won its first start, maiden special weight 61. Won by 3 3/4 lengths with Victor in the irons. Impressive. And then comes right back for an optional claiming none other comes back and loses by 1 3/4 lengths. Um, good race. It comes back at the same level, a little shorter of a distance, and wins by 4.5 lengths with Flavien Prat aboard. We got a 93 power speed figure in his last race. That's really good. I am going to go away from this because won his first race, lost his second race, won his third race. I think he's gonna have a trend here. He's gonna lose his fourth race, and then he has to figure it out again, come back and win. I'm gonna go with that play, considering your odds are gonna be so low here that not gonna make much money going with the 7 anyway. So that's gonna be my excuse for not betting number 7 in NVIDIA. Shanghai Tariff is number 8. Franco in the irons, James Vito is the trainer. Been running at this level. Been doing really well, seconds and firsts in his last 5 starts. Optional claiming ranks in the 62,000 to 75,000 range. Never has run 7 furlongs. That's the only thing. But with the works that I'm seeing, especially the July 22nd work at Del Mar for 5 furlongs, a bullet 59-3, first out of 70 that day. Shanghai Tariff needs to be put in some sort of plays of yours. Definitely fits and has that 8-hole outside post. Doesn't have to deal with anybody to his right. Gonna be speed. The last 4 races have been perfect as far as running. He hasn't done any worse than second, and like I said, this horse needs to be played by you today. It's not my first pick, not my top pick, but will not be left out by me. All right. So race 4 is a lot of first-time starters. This race is not gonna be a ton to talk about. Maybe some pedigrees, but not a lot of past performances. It's a mile on the turf, a maiden special weight, $60,000 race. So first timers going a mile, not just a sprint. It's even more risk there. But let's see. Number 1, Summering. Drayden Van Dyke is the rider. Thomas Proctor is the trainer. Those two do very well together. I always look for those two teaming up. They tend to do really well with those horses. This is a first-time starter, first-time turf route. Not an easy thing to do your first time out. Works have been pretty solid though, and you got your Warfront. Warfront is the father, and Wishing Gate is the mother by Indian Charlie. These are good bloodlines, good pedigrees, and so definitely a horse to take a look at. Miss Bennett is one of a few Jimmy Creed horses in this race. Jimmy Creed was a great sprinter years back, and Wild Tickle is the mother. Gary Stevens is in the irons, first-time starter. Jimmy Creed won 10 of his 46 debuters, which is a pretty good clip. And siblings haven't done anything yet, but are on the way out. So one to give a chance. You have Brice Blanc on the turf, great turf rider. Never can leave him out, I'm sorry, that's Gary Stevens on Miss Bennett. I'm so sorry. Gary Stevens on Miss Bennett. First time starter. Works have been good. 10 of 46 debuting, like I said, for Jimmy Creed. Worth maybe a look, but not sure if it's going to be ready quite yet today. Number 3 is The Lady Is Enough with Brice Blanc and Dan Blacker as the trainer. You get Brice Blanc, and you get a horse that has a start under his belt. A maiden special weight, 57,000. Only a 4.5 furlong race over at Keeneland. Didn't show much speed, didn't show much anything. You got to have at least a little bit of speed in a 4 furlong race. Probably going to be coming from behind, but not an issue. And Brice Blanc, you know, he knows how to time a ride on a turf. And you get a horse with experience, which only 2 or 3 or maybe 4 do in this race. That horse deserves a look at 15-1, especially morning line. Number 4 is Zip Secret. Stuart Elliott Van Belvoir is the trainer. This horse I don't really like that much. Coming out of maiden special weight races for the most part. Not really showing much there. Did run a mile last out on the turf as well, and just kind of just fizzled away. I'm not going to give that horse much of a chance. Number 5, Algorithm in Blues. Tyler Connor in the irons. You know how much I love Tyler Connor. Owen Hardy is the trainer. This is one of those horses that not an experience at 1 mile, but experience. Period. Has 1 race under his belt. Wasn't a great race in maiden special weight, $60,000 over at Santa Anita back in June. I would probably stay away from this horse. He's going to be lying mid-pack. I do like Tyler Connor and Owen Hardy, and this horse has that experience. So, you know, maybe throw him in some exotics. But, you know, I'm going to see how to play that. I'm not sure if he's going to be close enough to the lead for this one, but we'll see. Number 6 is Colonel Creed, another one of those Jimmy Creed horses. 10 of 26, I believe it was. 10 of 46, I believe. First time starters. Raf gets in the irons, though. Richard Baltus is the trainer. You get Raf aboard, that's going to turn some heads. And the works in the morning are the reason that Raf probably got aboard. Pedigree's really good. And, you know, it is a first-time starter, but like I said, you pay attention to the, with first-time starter races also, always watch the board, watch where the money's going. People know where what's going on out there. And you also look at, you know, Raf gets aboard, likes the works in the morning. Richard Baltus does well with first-timers. And, you know, once again, you got that good bloodline. So take a look at number 6. Number 7 is What's Your Story? Todd Fincher is the trainer. Figueroa is going to be in the irons. Another first-time starter here. Not a lot to go off of. Works have been pretty solid, pretty decent. Hasn't worked very long. More in the 3, 4, 5 furlong. Very few 5 furlong. More in the 3, 4 furlong range, which probably going to show some speed. You know, maybe throw him in your exotics or something, but I don't know if this horse has much of a chance to win the race. Number 8 is Girl Can Party. This is going to be my number 1 selection. I hate to do it with a first-time starter, but this horse has been working tremendously. Michael Mikowski, Joe Talamo on the turf. It's the perfect storm. The Artie Schiller is the father. 10% debuting with juveniles. 12% first-time turfs, and just all those numbers combined. I'm going to take a chance here, and that's going to be my number 1 selection. Number 9, Catherine Sky, Tyler Bays, Michael McCarthy, another first-time starter. Not a ton to go off of. Works have been spectacular, and the dad trap shot, a tap it mare, tap it. Tis Now, all those horses do really well here at Del Mar. They love this track for sires. So that's Catherine Sky. Number 10 is Vibrance, another first-time starter. Great works as well. Asa Espinosa is going to be in the irons, and the dad is Violence. Been putting out a lot of its crop lately and been doing very well. 17 of 74 with debuting juveniles. And you also get that weight break, and the weight break with a first-time starter can often mean more than it would with a 4-year-old, because Asa is the apprentice, so you get that 5-pound weight break. So also something to look at there too. All right, so we have the also eligible list. If they do get in, Hyde Park Corner with Gary Stevens, Mark Glatt. You know, if he gets in, give him a huge chance. Last race was at 7 furlongs, lost by a length and a half. It's been over in Ireland. I think that being over in Ireland, coming over here to run on the turf, definitely correlates better than coming over here to run on the dirt. So I like where they're looking here. Has never gone the mile distance, but does have those 2 races under his belt for experience. Number 12, Misdialed, first-time starter. Ruben Fuentes in the irons. I've been showing a little bit in the mornings with workouts, but not enough for me to put him in anything if he does get in. Friars Walk, Asa Espinosa's in the irons. This horse has also been running in Ireland. I should say ran in Ireland. Only has 1 start under his belt. Lost by a length and a half for a maiden race over there, worth about $25,000. I don't know if I give this one much of a chance too, especially now we're starting to get outside on the outside post positions. Orizaba, Agapito Delgadillo would be the 14 if they do get in. Don't give this horse much of a chance. Maiden special weight 40,000 was his first and only start. 11 1/4 lengths left behind, and that was a 5 furlong. Maybe he likes the distance, but I'm gonna leave him out for multiple reasons. All right, the 5th race, a 1.16 miles, the Clement L. Hirsch handicap. It's gonna be a quick one. You know who's gonna win this one. This is my most probable play of the day right here. Unique Bella, the class of the fields, won the Beholder by 2 1/4 lengths back in June. That was the last race, but it's just been racing in nothing but stakes company, graded company, and doing very well, winning almost every start of her career, with the exception of 2, and one of those being the Breeders' Cup. So anytime you get a horse like that, Mike Smith, Jerry Hollendorfer is leading the trainer standings through the first 2 weeks or so, this race doesn't need a lot of talking about. You have the 1 Bernina Star, which I think might have the best chance, if anybody has a chance. I don't know who does, but hasn't got the distance, but loves the Del Mar track. So anytime you get a horse that loves the Del Mar track, you never know, they might just flourish like they never have. So I always give them a chance, but once again, you're running up against Unique Bella. Unique Bella is going to be the 2 horse in this race. The 3 horse will be La Force with Drayden Van Dyke, Patty Gallagher, and nothing. I don't give this horse is outclassed, and just has ran in some of the same races as Unique Bella, and the result is just a little different. Probably the horse with the best chance. I take it back. The 1 has a little less of a chance. 3 might have the best chance to beat the 2 if something were to happen like that. They both just ran in the Beholder mile and came 1-2. So there was a big 2 1/4 distance win, 2 1/4 length distance win, but they did run against each other. Number 4, Turkish Tabby, Mario Gutierrez, Jerry Hollendorfer's other runner. Might just be throwing him in for bait. Don't see a lot of. Don't think that this horse has much of a chance here. Shenandoah Queen, Joe Talamo. This is another one of those horses that I just feel like is outclassed. This horse is a good horse, and all that, but only won once in his career. Doesn't know how to win. And this is a grade 2 Clement L. Hirsch against Unique Bella. No, I don't think so. Uvesti was one that I'm probably going to throw in with Unique Bella, maybe someone else for the trifecta or something. I think that Unique Bella is going to win the race, but Uvesti has shown a lot in the fact that the last 5, 6 starts have all been first, second, or third. All come in the money, and those are against, high optional claiming, and then a couple stakes races thrown in there too. So, if you want to have some fun with Unique Bella, throw Uvetzi in the exotics and try to make some money. All right, race 6, guys. I gotta hurry up. I'm flirting with what I did last time. Race 6, Del Mar, 6 furlongs, maiden special weight, $60,000, $60,000 purse. It's a 6 furlong for 2-year-olds, and yes, you guessed it, first-time starters all over the place in this race. I believe every horse is a first-time starter, except for 2. So here we go. Number 1 is Roadster. Bob Baffert, Mike Smith throwing them. Whenever Bob Baffert throws out a Mike Smith first-time starter with the pedigree of Quality Road and Ghost Dancing, you got to give it a look. The morning workouts are very, very good. Throwing him out there at 5 furlongs, the last 3, 6 furlongs, 4 back. This horse has a big chance to win. The only thing is, you talk about the inside post. I don't like 2-year-olds being trapped down there on the rail. They don't tend to like it. So we shall see. Number 2, Thin Line. Rafael Bejarano, Doug O'Neill. This horse has experience run once at 5 furlongs in a maiden special weight, $60,000 back in June. And they give him a little month and a half freshening here. Roll him back for 6 furlongs in a maiden special weight again. And I think that he's going to learn from that race and the works that he's put in since. And I can see this horse improving a lot today. Number 3, View Magic. Asa Espinosa in the irons. Jerry Hollendorfer puts this first-time starter out there. 13% with first-time starters. He does well with them. But this horse hasn't been showing enough in the mornings to me to think that he has a chance. You do get that 5-pound weight allowance, though, with Asa Espinosa in the irons. So definitely something to take a look at. 7 Oxen, number 4, 12-1 morning line. Oxbow is the dad. I love Oxbow. I love that horse, and it starts. The works have been good, but I don't like the shorter work. I don't like the short bullet works. I want the works that are closer to the distance that he's going to be going, especially the races or the works that are closer to the race. And his last work was 4 furlongs, pretty good, 49 flat, but like 2 and 3 back were 5 furlongs. I like to see more 5 furlongs, 2 back, 5 furlongs, 8th out of 60 times. That's good, but I just we've got to leave someone out, and I just don't see what I like to see in the morning works for a first-time starter. Number 5, Of Good Report. Joe Talamo in the irons. Louis Mendez is the trainer, and I give this horse a chance because of the Twirling Candy connection. Twirling Candy's the dad. Loved this track. So the grandpa is Candy Ride. Candy Ride loved this track. I love that bloodline. So maybe you want to throw this one in into the exotics. Those horses, Twirling Candy and Candy Ride, both did really well as young horses. Also good, good for first-time starters. So, maybe you want to throw a Good Report in some exotics or something. Number 6, Gunmetal Gray. Drayden Van Dyke. Jerry Hollendorfer throws another first-time starter out there. This one I like a little bit more than his first one. Works have been spectacular in the morning, going 5 furlongs in a minute and change. I think that last 2 works were a minute and change at 5 furlongs. That shows me that he's ready to get this 6 furlong distance. He's probably going to go out there guns ablaze And 6 is going to go out there and probably try to take this thing from gate to wire. Number 7, love the name, Savagery. Tyler Bays in the irons. Peter Miller. Always have to put Peter Miller, especially with a horse with experience at this level. Run one race, mile on the turf, maiden special weight 60, which is exactly this race. Peter Miller, Tyler Bays. You gotta love the connections there. And so that horse deserves a big look. Istanbul, number 8, 20-1. Tyler Connor in the irons. James Cassidy is the trainer, first time starter. Not a lot to go off of. James Cassidy doesn't generally do well with first time starters, so I'll probably leave that one out. Number 9 is Parsimony. Mario Gutierrez, Doug O'Neill. Love those connections, especially so far here at Del Mar. And you get a horse with the most experience in the race. 2 races of experience, both at the maiden special weight distance, and came in second both times, losing by less than 2 lengths total. Works have been really good, showing that he's interested, and that's a horse. Yeah, it's probably going to be my top pick. That's a horse you gotta work with. Hefe, number 10. That's going to have to be a hunch bet. Hefe, Jeff is me. So yeah, we'll definitely have to play that. Coming out of a maiden special weight 60 also, but that one was a 5 furlong sprint. Gonna stretch out here. So gonna stretch out and probably make that one big move towards the end of the race. Sweeping move around that far turn and try to get it done. Also eligibles running with Scissors, Franco, George Papajomamu. Love that name. 5 furlong work last out at 103-3. Not the greatest work that says he's ready to roll out for a first time starter. So I would probably leave him out if he got in. Easy keeper, Evan Roman, number 12. Another first time starter, but you get Doug O'Neill and Evan Roman. The work's decent. Ran his last work 5 furlongs, 103-3. It was gonna put him right there in the beginning, but the question is is he gonna be there in the end? All right, let's move on to race 7, so I don't take too much longer here. A mile and a 16th coming out of the turf chute in race 7 with a long race. Morning Dance is number 1. Philip D'Amato, coming out of optional claiming races in the $40,000 range. Hasn't raced this high up in optional claiming, but is coming off a win by half a length, and in that regard you got to give him a chance. Going to be coming from off the pace, and you got to love off the pace on the turf. It's starting to change around. A lot of speed in the first week, but I'm starting to notice more off the pace is coming up and getting some wins on the turf. So give that one a look. Number 2, Poster Girl with Evan Roman. Evan Roman and Matthew Chu on Poster Girl here, coming out of an optional claiming race, $62,000. 2 races back, optional claiming 40 and 1, but anything above the optional claiming 40 range looks like it just might be a little in over her head. Gonna be probably cruising about mid-pack through this race, and from there we will see. Number 3, Painting Corners, Tyler Bays, Peter Miller, 6-1. Optional claiming $62,000 for the last 3 races for this horse, and done pretty well. Never lost by more than 2 lengths, and Fire Speed figures show that definitely a horse that you cannot disregard with Peter Miller and Tyler Bays in the irons. Latest work was only a 4 furlong bullet work. 3 works back, did do a 5 furlong, and was first out of 12 horses for the time he put in. And so, that shows me that it gets more interested as the longer the race, the more serious it gets. Number 4 is India Montuana. Mike Smith, Philip D'Amato is the trainer. You get Mike Smith here. This horse is coming out of optional claiming $62,000 in its last 2. Has been changing hands a bit here lately. A bunch of different trainers lately, which can be fine. Mike Smith jumps aboard here, and I think that having him, Philip D'Amato's going to have him ready, and so this horse will be in the mix. Definitely, don't forget about him when you're making your bets. Hennessy Express, what a perfect name. Edwin Maldonado is in the irons. Todd Fincher is the trainer. I just, unfortunately, I don't see it for this horse. Has won some races, has done well, but has been mostly at Ruidoso Downs and Sunland Park, which is a lot less competition than you're going to find here. So I don't see that horse having the class to get it done today. Chicaboo is number 6 with Gary Stevens. Optional claiming $62,000. Was the last race that it ran in, none other than 2, and came in 3rd. Just got necked out, which is about this level, about a comparable level to this, back in June 21st. So with that, Peter Urton, trainer, Gary Stevens in the irons, working pretty decently lately. That horse is definitely one to take a look at. You're going to get a pretty good price on him, but has fairly proven at this level also. You don't always get both of those together. Quebec is number 7 with Corey Nakatani in the irons. Kind of coming out of the Pennsylvania handicap. Nope, not coming out of the Pennsylvania handicap. Sorry, it's a different stakes race. A $41,000 stakes race at Santa Anita. And came in 4th by 6 1/4 lengths. So we'll throw that out. We'll look at the last time you ran in the optional claiming ranks, which was 2 and 3 starts back. Earned its best Beyer speed figures, at least of late, in those races. Going to be coming from off the pace. Corey's going to make a nice move off the pace. I would watch out for this horse. Number 8 is the Tulip, Drayden Van Dyke, Paddy Gallagher. This horse has only run in optional claiming races, whether it be optional claiming 40 or optional claiming 62, in the last since the year started. So that being said, we have a good sample size to go off of. Has been running really well in the optional claiming 62,000 none other than 2, which is this level. After winning that optional claiming 40 none other than 1 back in February, has been at this 62 level ever since, and hasn't been able to get the job done, but right there knocking on the door. So I think you got to put him in your bets, considering the class is he's right in the perfect class level. Number 9 is Causeway Carolyn, Asa Espinosa in the irons. Peter Miller is the trainer. Got another Peter Miller horse in here. Last race was a mile on the turf, optional claiming 62. At this level, lost by 2 lengths. Came in 6th. Before that, ran in the Monrovia handicap at grade 2. Lost by 5 lengths, but was just outclassed in that race. Didn't really have a chance. Best Beyer speed figures come at this level. Granted, they also come at the sprinting distance, but definitely something to look at there. Number 10, Fuerza with Franco in the irons. Richard Baltas is the trainer. Optional claiming 62 for the last 3 starts for this horse, so been in this class level. Not going to be any surprises here. Unfortunately, doesn't look like he's been handling the class level well, so the 10 probably won't be on any of my tickets. Number 11, Miss Sugars, Rafael Bejarano in the irons. Jeff Mullins, the trainer. Love Jeff Mullins. Ran at this level last out. Came in 6th by 4 1/4 lengths. Ran in the Monrovia, just like number 9, and beat. Yeah, no, lost to her. Came behind her. Miss Sugars came behind number 9, Causeway Carolyn in the Monrovia. Granted, that's a sprint, and this isn't, but just if you care about that stuff. And the also eligibles: Beautiful Becca, Joe Talamo, Adam Kitchenman. This horse has been running against worse horses. Has run at this level sometimes, but the best wins and the best times for this horse are against horses of much less class than this. So I'm going to leave the 12 out if he gets in. Number 13 is Psycho Sister. Some of you may want to bet that as a hunch play. You might have a Psycho Sister. I'm just kidding. So this one has Tyler Bays in the irons. Optional claiming race. 62,000 out of than 2 its last out. Didn't run well there. I'm probably going to look at this horse and say it's more, if you're going to bet it, it's more of a hunch play because you have something to do with a Psycho Sister. Or you want to play exotics or something. I don't see this horse doing well if he gets in. Number 14, Zafina. Kent DeSormo in irons. Jack Carava. Haven't seen much of him this meet, but love Jack Carava. Been running at this level for the last 4, and then before that coming out of the honeymoon. So been facing a lot better in that race, and then this class level, and showing that it's also right there, but just not doing enough. With that outside post also not doing him any favors. I'd probably leave the 14 out. All right, last 2 races. Del Mar, 7 furlongs. Race 8, the Fleet Treat, $150,000 stakes race. It's a 7 furlong stakes race. You don't find a lot of these at that distance, but should be fun. This is an 8 horse field, it looks like. Number 1 is Loving Linda. Franco is in the irons. Philip D'Amato is the trainer. 3 starts for this horse, 2 maiden special weights, and then jumps up to the stakes. This horse is very good. Won the second start of its career maiden special weight, jumped right into the $196,000 stakes race on June 3rd at Santa Anita for a mile and a 16th, and got it done there. The only thing you could actually the works have been great. A bullet 5 furlong work. Trainer is Route to Sprint, which would be this horse at 17%. Philip D'Amato. This horse will be one of my top picks. Number 2 is One Fast Broad. What a great name, by the way. Corey Nakatani in the irons. Mick Ruiz is the trainer. Lost to Loving Linda in that stakes race, 1 start back. Doesn't look like is quite as good as that horse, but has also shown the ability to be closer to the lead in stock, which always runs better in those situations. So we'll see if he can do that. Kimberly Kay, Drayden Van Dyke, and Jerry Hollendorfer. Jerry Hollendorfer is the trainer. Drayden Van Dyke is the rider. This horse definitely can win a race like this. It's just a matter. It's got to get the right trip, and he's got to. Things have to go his way. Won its first 2 starts of his career, then the next 2 came in second, only losing by a length and then 2 lengths, and then his last start losing by 2 1/4 lengths in an optional claiming race. He, like I said, can win this race. Don't take too short a price on this horse. You're going to want 5 or 6 to 1 or better in order to bet that horse. Any lower than that, I would stay away. Number 4 is Spiced Perfection, Joe Talamo. This horse just barely lost to lovely, what is that? Loving Linda in that stakes race, one start back. A lot of these horses are coming out of that race. It's going to be prove to be a key race. Brian Corner here, route to sprint at 24%, which is what this horse is going to be doing. Like I said, the 7 furlong distance stuff has run at it before and came in second. This is probably going to come down to be a 2-horse race. Maybe add a third horse in there. But the 4 Spice Perfection and Loving Linda number 1. Those 2 of the horses that seem to stand out in this race. Number 5 is Impecunous. This horse, I don't see much of a chance. Never run in stakes company. Been racing in allowance company, optional claiming company, and winning. But this is a totally different game. And never gone as far as 7 furlongs. Farthest it's gone is 6 actually. Farthest it's gone is 6 furlongs. It's going to be a tough task for number 5. Number 6 is Show It and Mow It. Rafael Bejarano is the jockey. Gary Sherlock is the trainer. This horse definitely has a chance in this race, but definitely has to run its best race, considering the other 2 just seem like they're the class of the field. Been working really well down at up at Santa Anita. Did a nice 4 furlong bullet 2 back, and then a 5 furlong and 1 flat. 7th best out of 69 on July 11th. I like that. So let's see if he's ready to go today. This next horse is going to be a horse that I'll play. It's a long shot play. Number 7, Just Grazed Me. Tyler Bays in the irons. I love grazing horses at Del Mar. They do really well, I've noticed, over the last few years. Only has 1 start in his career, so you get what you can with this horse. 6.5 furlongs was its only start. Won by 6 1/4 lengths. Won very convincingly down at Santa Anita on June 24th. With all that being said, he can definitely move forward here on the second start of a lifetime. And so let's see if we can maybe make some money with this horse instead of the lower prices of the others. All right, number 8 is Donut Girl. Tyler Connor in the irons. Hector Palma. This horse has been never raced in stakes company. Did win its last race, an allowance $50,000 race. Before that, optional claiming allowance right in there. Has 2 career lifetime wins, which is, there's something to say about that. But I just don't know if I think the class is going to be a little overwhelming in this race for this horse. All right, last race here, Del Mar. 1 mile on the turf, optional claiming $20,000. Purse is going to be $62,000. Lots of turf routes today, guys, which is going to make betting so hard. But 6-point rack for Rafael Bejarano in the irons. Mike Pipey, optional claiming $16,000, is the last 3 races for this horse. And I think that's going to prove to be a little bit on the negative side. I think that not doing well in a race that's fairly similar but still a step down and taking a step up, I don't know if this horse is going to do too much. A little bit intrigues me because he does like Del Mar. I do love a horse that loves Del Mar. So we'll see about that. Number 2 is Raven Creek. Tyler Bays, optional claiming, has been this horse's forte for the last few races. They're doing pretty well, especially its last race. Only lost by half a length. Just got nabbed at the end. So off of that race and that fire speed figure alone, I give this horse a huge shot to try to get it done in the nightcap on Sunday. Number 3 is Jersey's Heat. Asa Espinosa in the irons. Rafael Becerra is the trainer. A maiden $50,000 and both are maiden $50,000 actually. Both with the 2 races he's coming out of, two back, I'd throw that race out. He got steadied, so don't even look at that. But last start at the $50,000 ring, at a mile on the dirt, though, going dirt to turf now, but usually does run on the turf. Last start just didn't, but won. So, has a lot of starts on the turf, very few on the dirt, and won one of those starts on the dirt. So maybe just prefers dirt better. I'll probably stay away. Number 4 is Save Ground with Mario Gutierrez and Ben Cecil. Last race was fairly similar to this one. Mile on the turf with Mario in the irons, and just lost by 2 lengths. Got a good buyer speed figure there, and Sense has been showing some good works. So definitely take a look at that one. Don't let that one get off your radar. Number 5 is Accreditation. Ruben Fuentes is in the irons, claiming $25,000. Was the last race, and that was not a pretty sight. Has won once in his career at a maiden special weight 54 at 1 mile. I don't know how much stock I'm going to put into that. Looks like this horse might just be outclassed in this one. Number 6 is Huddle. I like this horse. It's got Tyler Connor in the irons. It's coming out of a $192,000 stakes race, but 2 back, ran in a maiden special weight 55 and won by a length. I think he just got a little too, its connections got a little too greedy and antsy in the next start after that, running in that stakes race. Only losing by 5 3/4 lengths. It's going to be the speed. He's going to be out there. So he's going to say, "Come and get me." That's one I'm going to definitely use. Number 7, Premium Forest. Evan Roman is in the irons. Richard Rosales is the trainer. Coming out of a race that's fairly similar to this, did not perform well. I think that this horse would probably benefit from going a little bit longer than a mile. Needs a little bit more time to get up there. It's going to be coming from the back of the pack. So a mile's probably not the best distance. Amongst other things, I'm not super thrilled on the last couple works actually, at the short works. So yeah, he's going to probably go out there guns a-blazing, but I don't give him much of a chance. Satori, number 8, with Thiago Pereira. Martin Jones is the trainer. Coming off a win at a maiden 20, learned from his first start at the same level as that. Pushed back to 7 furlongs, did better. Now they're going to push him back to a mile and see if they can steal one there. I don't give this horse much of a chance. Only 2 starts in his career. I'll look elsewhere. Number 9 is Drizzy. What a great name. Coming off of a second place finish, got headed out in an optional claiming $50,000 race on the turf, 6.5 furlongs, has not run a mile. Sprint to route, the trainer's only 6%. Michael Mikowski doesn't do as well with sprint to route. Works have been decent. Don't mind the works at all; they're pretty good. We'll see how we can do what we can do with this one. Maybe just a hunch play for Drizzy. Number 10 is Senator Robert, Kentasormo, Bob Hess. Coming out of 2 optional claiming races. I think that this horse has a good chance at 8, especially with the 8-1 odds. Take a look at this one, see where the odds fluctuate up or down, if you get good enough odds on this one, I would consider putting him in or even betting him to win. I like Bob Hess and Kentasormo on the turf. All right, so on possible number 11, Joe Talamo, Brian Coroner. Coming out of a little bit better than this, and running pretty well. Going to be the speed. Number 11 is going to be out there, along with a couple other horses. And so I like that Joe Talamo stays aboard, and I think that this horse has a huge chance, 8-1 odds morning line. I think this race is going to be a very lucrative race. The horses that can win have some very nice odds for us. Number 12 is California Journey, Matthew Chu. Optional claiming $16,000 is the last 3 races. This none other than one is the last 3 races this horse is running. And Franco stays aboard for 2 in a row. You gotta like that. Works have been nice. Worked here at Del Mar on July 21st, 5 furlongs, 34th out of 82. That's pretty good. 1-on-1 flat. So definitely take a look at him. Don't let him get off your radar either. One also eligible here, El Tovar. If this horse gets in, he runs. I like him, but he doesn't get off to great starts out of the gate. That's not good for us. Already has that outside post position. So I'd probably leave him out. Something to maybe look at if he ends up getting in. Possible. All right. So there's the races for today. Hopefully that helped you make your selections easier. Or if not, and you want to go with mine, I'm going to do my picks next. I'm going to post my video next of my picks for the day. Stay tuned. Just give me a few minutes to get everything straight. And they'll be up, and we will be ready for an amazing day of racing at Del Mar. Have a good one, guys.